Ever wondered about the difference between theoretical and conceptual frameworks in research? Well, you're not alone. These two terms can often cause confusion, especially for those just starting on their research journey. But don't worry, we're here to clear things up. Theoretical and conceptual frameworks are both crucial elements in research, providing structure and guidance. They serve different but interconnected functions. The theoretical framework is a collection of concepts, definitions, and propositions that form a structured view of a phenomenon. It's like the foundation of a house, laying the groundwork for your study. On the other hand, the conceptual framework is a visual representation of expected relationships and connections between constructs or variables in a study. It's like the blueprint of that house, showing how the different parts connect. Understanding the difference and connections between these two frameworks is important for any research project. So, stay tuned as we dive deeper into these frameworks, their differences, and how they work together. First, let's tackle what a theoretical framework is. A theoretical framework is essentially a collection of concepts, definitions, and propositions that provides a structured view of a phenomenon. It's like a map that guides you through unfamiliar territory, helping you make sense of the landscape. This theoretical map is constructed from existing theories, models, and frameworks, serving as a core knowledge base for your research. Picture this: you're in a library. The theoretical framework is the section of the library where you find all the books relevant to your study. It's typically presented in the literature review section of a dissertation or research paper, giving readers a sense of the existing knowledge on the topic. So, what's the function of a theoretical framework? Well, it helps define key terms and concepts in a study. For example, if you're conducting research on trust in investment brokers, the theoretical framework would define organizational trust and review relevant literature. It's like explaining the rules of a game before starting to play. The presentation of a theoretical framework is usually in written form, but it can also be supplemented with visuals to demonstrate relationships between theories. It's not unlike a recipe, where you explain the ingredients, theories, and how they mix together, relationships. Now, the theoretical framework isn't always focused on a single theory. Depending on the scope of the study, it can encompass multiple interrelated theories. It's like a jigsaw puzzle, where each piece, theory, forms part of the overall picture, research. It's also advisable to review past dissertations when creating your theoretical framework. This helps you understand the institutional norms and expectations, much like checking out previous winners before entering a competition. Now that we've covered theoretical frameworks, let's move on to conceptual frameworks. Now, let's demystify what a conceptual framework is. A conceptual framework, in essence, is a visual representation of the expected relationships and connections between the constructs or variables in a study. Think of it as a map or a blueprint that gives an overview of how these various elements interrelate. It's a tool that helps you visualize the bigger picture of your research. But where does a conceptual framework get its insights? Well, it's based on the knowledge we gain from the theoretical framework. So you could say that a conceptual framework is a practical application of the theoretical framework, taking the insights and theories and arranging them visually. Now, when it comes to presentation, a conceptual framework isn't just a bunch of words thrown together. No, it uses shapes, lines, arrows, and concise texts for clear visualization. It's a bit like a flowchart that provides a snapshot of your research's key elements and how they interact. One unique aspect of a conceptual framework is how it integrates hypotheses within the visual representation. This integration provides clarity and establishes a direct connection to the research. So when you look at a conceptual framework, you're not just seeing the key variables of a study, but also the hypotheses that are being tested. And, of course, we can't forget about design considerations. A well-designed conceptual framework emphasizes clean design and well-considered colors. After all, a messy, chaotic conceptual framework can confuse more than it clarifies. So, it's important to keep the design simple and the color scheme easy on the eyes. In sum, a conceptual framework is a visual tool that helps researchers see the relationships between variables and constructs in their study. It's a practical, visual companion to the theoretical framework, helping to develop research questions and hypotheses, and providing a clear, visual guide to the study's overall structure. With a good grasp on conceptual frameworks, let's explore how these two frameworks compare and connect. Now for the million-dollar question: how do theoretical and conceptual frameworks differ, and how can they work together? Firstly, let's talk about differences. The theoretical framework is primarily text-based, providing a foundation of theories to guide your research. It's like the blueprint that lays the groundwork for your study. It is usually presented in the literature review section of your research paper, defining key terms and concepts. On the other hand, the conceptual framework is a visual representation of the expected relationships and connections between constructs or variables in your study. It's like the floor plan that shows where everything goes. Based on insights from the theoretical framework, it helps to organize and visualize how constructs and variables interrelate, aiding in developing research questions and hypotheses. But despite these differences, these two frameworks are not isolated islands. They are interconnected and often used simultaneously in research, especially in studies exploring variable relationships. The theoretical framework feeds into the conceptual framework, providing the necessary definitions and context. The conceptual framework, in turn, applies this theory to the specifics of your study, showing how everything connects. It's like building a house. The theoretical framework is the blueprint, laying out the overall design. The conceptual framework is the floor plan, showing where each room goes and how they connect. Both are necessary for a well-structured, coherent, and meaningful research project. However, it's important to remember that each research project is unique. Depending on your study's scope, you may focus on a single theory or multiple interrelated theories. Your conceptual framework might be simple or complex, and there are varying expectations from different universities. So, while these frameworks provide a structure, they are not rigid rules. They are flexible tools to help you design and conduct your research effectively. Understanding the interplay between these two frameworks can significantly enhance your research project. Before we wrap up, let's touch on some additional resources that can support your research. You might find it beneficial to delve deeper into the intricacies of theoretical and conceptual frameworks, and to do so, there are a multitude of resources available. For instance, there are numerous academic books and scholarly articles that offer in-depth discussions on these frameworks. Websites like JSTOR or Google Scholar are treasure troves of such material. They provide a wealth of information from the basics to the most advanced topics, all aimed at enhancing your knowledge and understanding. In addition, there are institutions offering workshops and seminars on research methodologies. These sessions can provide hands-on experience and allow you to interact with experts in the field. You can also find online courses on platforms like Coursera or edX, which provide flexible learning opportunities. If you're working on a dissertation, there are resources specifically designed to assist you. We've provided a link to a dissertation template in the description below. This template can serve as a roadmap, helping you structure your work effectively and ensuring you cover all the necessary components. Let's not forget the importance of reviewing past dissertations. They offer invaluable insights into the practical application of theoretical and conceptual frameworks. Pay special attention to how these frameworks are used to define key terms, form hypotheses, and design studies. We've covered a lot today, but remember, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Theoretical and conceptual frameworks are complex and multifaceted tools in research. They require thorough understanding and thoughtful application. So, take your time, dive deeper, explore these resources, and most importantly, keep asking questions. The more you question, the better your understanding will become. In the end, it all comes down to this: understanding and leveraging theoretical and conceptual frameworks can elevate your research. They provide structure, guide your thinking, and help you make meaningful contributions to your field of study. But don't stop here. Keep learning, keep exploring. And if you found this video helpful, subscribe to the channel. We have more insightful, research-related content coming your way. Remember, understanding and leveraging theoretical and conceptual frameworks can elevate your research. Subscribe for more insightful research-related content.